If you suspect that your infant or toddler has a disability or is at risk, what you should be seeking is a timely, comprehensive, multidisciplinary evaluation from your state's early intervention service provider. And we're going to talk about that.
So the IDEA says quite clearly that for the students who are suspected of needing early intervention services, there must be this comprehensive evaluation that Julie was referring to. And this is for a very good reason, not just because we want to find out whether or not the child meets the eligibility criteria and then decide what kind of programming the child needs, and evaluations often assist in doing that, but because when a referral for an infant or toddler is made, very often the referral may be very specific. So it may be that the parent has one concern about, let's say, swallowing or language. And in fact, in the process of doing a comprehensive evaluation, if it's done properly, the family learns and the state agency learn that, in fact, the child has, as an example, an autism spectrum disorder or some other more global developmental disability. And so we want these evaluations to be quite specific, because if you only go in and do a screening on the one thing that caused the referral, you're not likely to get as much information as we hope, and that the IDEA is hoping will occur in early intervention, because the whole purpose, of course, is to provide the child services and the family services in a way that hopefully eventually the child and the family may not need special education when that transfer comes to school aged. That doesn't always happen, but that's the goal.
And I can't tell you how important it is that you follow up with that evaluation in spite of what anybody might tell you not to do. I think that well-meaning people will sometimes say, oh, don't worry about it, it's probably going to pass, everybody grows out of things. But if you suspect that your infant or toddler has a disability or is at risk, you should absolutely follow through on your instincts and get that job done.
Yeah, Julie, in my practice, I do see a lot families who come to me later when their child is either getting special education services in school or is in the process of being evaluated for that they had early concerns that they shared with their pediatrician or their mother-in-law, whomever, and were sort of poo-pooed or don't worry about that. That's boys. Boys will be boys. Boys talk later. Boys act that way. And then later they're very regretful that they didn't get the early intervention services because it turns out there was, in fact, a disability. So across the board, Julie and I will almost always tell you, as parents, listen to your gut.